Barakatuh. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. You are
Wa alaikum
listening to
salam.
Newcastle Fast FM, and this is that show. And today we are going to be talking about peer pressure. Peer pressure. Today I'm joined by, introduce yourself, Ismail.
Ismail,
Ali.
Ali.
And I am called Yazan.
And I'm your host, Is-haaq Sayid. So we're currently in our third week of our 12-week course. And last week we were talking about starting out from the. Do you have anything that you can remember from last week?
I wasn't here.
Well, give us anything you know about standing out from the crowd. Could be anything.
Nothing, to be honest.
Okay, smile.
Confident.
Okay, so expand on that. What do you mean?
So like, let's say if someone's not confident and everyone else around to do something, then you're the odd one out.
So to stand out proud, you need confidence. So that was last week. This week we're talking about peer pressure. But before we start, tell us about yourself, Yazan, because you weren't here last week. So tell a fact about yourself.
Well, I am 14. Nothing really to say, just nothing.
Okay. What about you, Ali? You went here last week. People don't know you. Just give us a
12.
fact about yourself.
I'm 12, and I have a brother and three sisters.
Okay. So you're surrounded by a lot of girls, are you?
Yeah.
So this week we're talking about peer pressure. So to start it off, what is peer pressure? You start.
Well, I think peer pressure is when your peers around you force you to do something you don't want to do. It's mostly when you want to do something that is not allowed in the religion.
Good answer. Ismail, what do you think peer pressure is?
When when everyone else is doing this one thing and you're not, so it's like, so you're the odd one out and you don't want to be the odd one out.
Okay,
so
so trying to Ali, what do you think peer pressure is?
when you try to do something but you can't, and yeah.
Okay, so trying to do something that you can't. So you were all right. It's doing something that you wouldn't know because other people are around you. So you you're doing it and you're looking for something. Usually looking for you're looking to fit in, but you're doing it because of the people around you, and you know that doing isn't something that you should be doing. So another guest, Mike actually joined in. Sam, assalamu alaikum, how are you?
I'm fine, Salakum, I'm fine.
Okay, tell us about yourself.
I'm 19. I've been through college and almost gone to the next level. That's it.
Okay, good. So peer pressure. What are we? By the way, Sam, we're talking about peer pressure this week.
Mm.
And what do you think peer pressure is?
Mm, I don't know.
Well, the other boys said it trying to fit in, So you're being the odd one out and you won't fit in with the crowd. And Yazan made a good point and said it's doing something because of what everyone else is doing, even though you might not want to do it yourself. So when we are being peer pressured, what are the people who are being peer pressured looking for? What are they? Why are they doing the things that they're doing? Do you understand the question?
Wait, no. Can you like say it in a different way?
Okay, so if you are being peer pressured into doing something and you end up doing that thing, what are you looking for? Because there's reason for why. So what are people
It's mostly
looking
doing
for?
it for getting attention from others around you.
Okay, good question. Good answer. I mean, what about you? Are people looking for? They do things for the sake of people. If you do something you know you shouldn't be doing, but you do it anyways because friends want you to do it. So why do people do it?
I don't know.
Pleasing the people around you so that you fit in.
Okay, good answer, Ismail. What about you, Hussam? Why do you think people do things even though they don't want to do it?
Um, they just want to fit in, really.
Good. So yeah, all your answers were correct. People are looking to be accepted. They're looking to fit in. They're looking to get people to like them, and so that they respect you. Because no one likes to be disrespected. Everyone wants respect. Everyone loves respect, and so sometimes we do stuff that we shouldn't be doing because we want other people to respect us. In the Quran, there's an Arabic word that is used that defines respect and it defines honor. Does anyone know what that's? Yes, no?
No.
No.
Okay, well, in the Quran, the word that is used to define honor and to define respect, it is called Izzah. And Izzah is what I said, it's respect and honor. But when we when we are to earn respect and earn other people, the reality you're seeking something from someone who doesn't own it because that person doesn't own respect. That person doesn't own honor. Because the Prophet ﷺ once said to Aisha, who narrated this hadith, that whoever seeks the pleasure of at the displeasure of Allah, Allah says that these sorts of people who live like that, not only Allah will be displeased with them, but He will also make the pleased with them, and He will make you humiliated if that is how you live your life. And it is a lost situation. You lose it because you're looking for the respect from people who don't own respect. They won't be able to give it to you anyways. So you lose respect from them and you lose respect from Allah. So you lose either way. And as a Muslim, you'll never get anything good if you disobey Allah and His commands. So if you're to gain respect people other than Allah, then what this hadith is saying, you won't get that respect. You might get it temporarily, but it won't be something that will last. True honor and true respect last, and that's what this hadith trying to teach us and tell us. Allah also says in the Quran that whoever wants izzah, whoever wants honor, respect, whoever wants dignity amongst the people, then Allah alone honor. So only Allah owns that honor. It doesn't matter about what your friends and what your peers and what your co-workers or your family thinking. If they're to disobey Allah's command, then gonna earn any respect from that. so the hadith, the ayah continues on and says that gives it to whoever he wishes. So there's some people in this world who may get respect, but it's only through Allah. And so if we respect and honor, and so if respect comes from Allah, then why should we do things that we know Allah does not like so that people will respect us? Do you understand what I'm about?
Yeah.
Good. So in modern day society, we youth especially are pressuring a lot of things. We can get peer pressure to do some really bad things. So can I want everyone to give me at least 2 or 3 examples of things that which the youth of today can be pressured in doing. Ismail, you can start.
Not behave.
Okay, so misbehaving. 2 or 3 things. That's one.
Uh, smoking.
Smoking, good. So misbehaving and smoking. That's 2. Okay. Next, Yazan.
Well, like probably drugs and alcohol.
Okay, so drugs and alcohol. 2. Hussam, 2 things which the youth can be pressured to do today.
I don't know. We can maybe talk about like school or something. It could be like peer pressure or something.
Okay, how can you be peer pressured in school?
So like by like people like discriminating you or something, and people talk bad things behind your back which you don't know, and then until you ask them the question, oh, what are you talking about, and then they'll tell you.
Okay, so yeah, someone could join in discriminating people. Yeah, Ali, do you know any? Give me 2 examples of things that people could be pressured in doing.
Clubbing.
So going out partying. What else?
Um, um, Disobeying your parents or everyone.
Okay, disobeying parents. So yeah, those are some examples, and I'll give 2. Well, one of them could be not praying. So you might be in school, and you might want to go, but then you're like, oh, leave it. You don't have to pray. You can pray when you get in the house. They might just tell you like, oh, let's go in there. I don't know, play football or do whatever you do at lunchtime. So, in the Quran, the Prophet said said something about missing salahs. And he said, missing one salah knowingly and willingly is the same as if someone had lost everything in the entire world. So that's how significant it is to miss one salah, like while you're missing it. So you might know that it's time to go pray, but you don't go and pray. It's as if you lost the entire world and everything inside of it. Um, Another thing that people could be peer pressuring is, so people might be bullying one person, and you might not have the confidence to tell them to stop bullying, and you might join in, or you might be like the other people and past it and not do anything about it. So if someone does do something to please Allah, it displeases then the Prophet says that Allah will become pleased with that person, and He will make the people pleased with that. So if you do something to please Allah, sake of Allah, but the people are displeased with one, so you might, for example, praying, you might go to pray, but in order to please Allah, friends are telling you to leave it and you should go and join them in a game of, then Allah says that He becomes with that person and people pleased with that person. At the beginning, the people might not be pleased with him, but eventually the people will turn around, the people will become pleased with that person. It doesn't mean that that person won't have enemies and haters, and the prophets are good examples of this because they had enemies, but Allah gave them that izzah, and even their own enemies respected them. When you looked at the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he had massive enemies. He had quite a few enemies, but even the enemies would respect. So we've been talking about peer pressure, and have any of you ever been peer pressured into doing anything? And if you have, what is it?
None.
No.
Okay, so Yazan and Ismail say they haven't. Ali, have you ever peer pressured into doing anything?
No.
No? Hussam, what about you?
Yes.
Okay. Do you mind telling us what it is?
Yeah. So like, say like a few days ago, I was gonna go pray, and I get a ring from my friends, and they say, "Oh, you coming out to play some football like that?" And I said, "Oh, I need to go pray." And they asked me, "Oh, how long you gonna be?" Because obviously they went by my door, and I says, "It takes as long as I take until I finish my prayer time." And then as soon as I came outside, they start like complaining, and I said, "Oh, why it takes so long?" And I told them, "Listen, prayer first, and then after I can go out with friends." That's how I've been peer pressured.
Okay, that was a good one. MashaAllah. So your friends came to knock on your door, let's go and have a kick about football, but you told them to wait for you because you had to go pray. So you put Allah before your friends. And this is how we should be as Muslims. We should always put Allah in front of everything, and then the Prophet, and the parents. And that's the way that Islam should be. When we look at the Sahabas, they used to sacrifice everything in order to please Allah. They used to even kill their own brothers and sisters in war for the sake of Allah because they didn't want to forsake their religion. They didn't want to displease Allah just because of family. So it shows that even if your family are against it, you should still be respectful in whatever you're doing. So if your parents tell you to, I don't know, stop being so extra by trying to grow a beard or something like that, you should tell them that, this is my religion and I'm allowed to do it. There's nothing wrong with it. So you should reply to them in a respectful manner, and inshallah they'll come around. That was a good one, Hussam. Are you sure that Ismail? Are you definitely sure that you've never pressured into doing anything?
No. Every time I am with friends, at least Muslim.
Okay, but you can
Yeah.
still get pressured into doing.
I know, but no, it hasn't happened.
I'll give my experiences. I've been um, invited to a party, and that I couldn't make it because it's just I just told them that I couldn't make it because it's not where I should be. It's not where I should be because it was a haram party, and I wasn't going there and thingy compromise my religion because of a party. I've also been offered to smoke because I remember I was in school and walking by, and I walked past this corner where kids usually smoke. When I was walking past there, they kind of all stopped us and were like, "Oh, have a cigarette, just have a try." and I was just I basically refused it and walked away. Um, what about fighting? Have you ever, I don't know, been encouraged to fight someone? Have your friends ever been like, oh, you can't let him say that? Go.
Yeah, that has happened before.
Okay, so give us a bit of story about it.
It was at school and was being racist. And then I was like, oh, there's no point in fighting. It's not going to sort anything out. And people are telling me, oh, you not just take that and take it. And yeah, a lot of people came up to me and said the same thing again and again.
Yeah. Okay, so that's a good one. I've also been encouraged to fight someone as well. Same sort of scenario where someone said something and the people came up to me saying, "Oh, you can't let that. You can't back down from that." But the truth is, I can, and I did, because it was pointless to fight someone over something so petty. Because at the end of the day, I wasn't really that bothered by what he said, so there was no point in fighting him at all. So how did how did you deal with the peer pressure, Hussam? What was going through your
Um,
head?
Obviously, in my head, it was going through like like it was going like this. But as soon as I was praying, I felt more relaxed. You know what I mean? But obviously, like ignoring them help my prayer like that. And after when I finished praying, I made dua, and then I was all much better as well.
So that made you even more relaxed.
It just relieves all yeah, it makes me more relaxed and just gets all the stress as well.
That's good. That Ismail, how did you deal with it? What was going through your head?
I just told him no.
But what was going through your head? Because you have a thought process. You think before. So what were you thinking in your head?
Nothing really. There wasn't anything that I wanted to do.
Okay, so how about then? What advice would you give to someone who is being peer pressured?
Well, I
Just
think the best way to deal with it is ignoring the people who are peer pressuring you and try to get away from them.
Okay, but sometimes it's quite hard to ignore. Sometimes it's because, to be honest, Islam isn't easy. If Islam was easy, then everyone would be a Muslim. Same way that I heard a hadith once that when made heaven and he made hellfire, he told Angel to go look at it, and Angel Jibril went, and then he came back, and then he said, and then Allah asked him, "How was it?" And he said, "If anyone saw this or heard of it, then they would definitely want to be there." And then he took him to hell, and he asked him afterwards when he came back, what did you think about it? He said, if anyone had seen this or heard of this, definitely wouldn't want to be there. And then Allah was like, okay then, and he remodeled it a bit and done a bit of construction work almost, and he put loads of hardships in front of heaven, and he put loads of temptations and desires and things that we want in front of hell. And then when he told Angel Jibril again, go over to heaven and see that place. How is it now? And Angel Jibril went, and when he came back, he said, I don't think anyone would be able to go there because of all the hardships that are in front of it. And then he took him to hellfire, and he said, and came back. He said, I think it's going to end up there because it's that's where people want to go to their desires. People want to go to what they want, what they strive for. So if you look at those two, if you look at it, it shows that it's not easy. Sometimes it's not easy to follow the religion because of the things that are around it. because of the hardships, because of the uh, tests that we have in front of it. So it's easier to go to hellfire than it is to go to heaven. So ignoring it sometimes is because of the hardship that comes with it. So what other advice would you give?
Making the right friends.
Good, choosing the right friends. What?
So like making friends that you know won't peer pressure you. Sort of have the same religion as
Okay.
you. Most of the time, it's about your religion.
Good. So there's another hadith that says that when you're choosing the friends, a good friend and a bad friend are like a perfume seller and a black. The perfume seller might give you some perfume as a gift, or you might buy some perfume from him, or you might at least sell the because you're around him. But the blacksmith, he might singe your clothing, so he might burn your clothing, and at the very least, you'll breathe in the fumes of the furnace. You'll breathe in the fumes of the fire. So if you're surrounding yourself with the right sort of people, then it'll be easier to do the good thing, the right thing. It'll be easier to be if you're surrounded by Muslim friends. But if you're surrounded by bad friends, then it's going to be easier to do bad things because that's your environment. People say that you become the product of your environment. So if you're around people who are bad, then ultimately you're going to end up bad as well. What other advice would you give to someone who's being peer pressured? Ali.
Um, do the just do the right thing and um,
Okay, so doing the right thing, that's a good one as well. If you right thing, then if you do like small little, Allah says that He likes the deeds which are small but consistent more than He likes the deeds which are big but not consistent. So if you give, I don't know, £100 one day to charity, that's good, but but Allah says that He likes the smaller deeds more consistent. So let's say you give 20p every day to charity. That is more beloved to Allah out this massive £1,000 donation just in one night. So if we do little deeds like those, it's easier to do bigger and better deeds. So if you start off reading the Quran, I don't know, 5 ayahs every night, maybe by the next 2 or 3 weeks, you're going to find yourself reading 10 ayahs because you're already used to doing those five. So if you build deeds consistently, it's easier to build on them and easier to do bigger and better deeds. Good answer, Ali. So, Sam, what other advice would you give to someone who is being peer pressured?
Also, you have to remember your purpose in life. It's also please and obey to Allah. Once you remember that, you won't be tempted by peer pressure.
That's good. So remembering it's all going back to intention. What's your intention? What is the purpose on this earth? This life is a test. We know and we are here to please and obey Allah. And once you remember that we're here to obey Allah and we're not here to have fun, then it's easier to be to not get tempted by peer pressure because you remember why you're on this earth, why you have this life. Good answer, Usam. Yazan, any advice that you would give to someone who's pressured?
Well, no, but I just want to comment on what Hosam just said before. Because what I think is when someone is being pressured too much, he would It's just how the brain works naturally. He would just, even though he knows it's wrong, he would still probably do it because
Yeah.
he's being too pressured.
Then
Yeah, I just
yeah, that's a good point.
like let's just say let's just say if you are by yourself and then there's 10 people around you pressuring you to like smoke, you wouldn't just say no and then go away because they will just keep following you and pressuring you, and eventually you would like do it because you just feel too pressured.
Good point. But then here's what I've got. If you have if you keep reminding yourself continuously of your faith, of your purpose in life, and if you keep reminding yourself that Allah's watching me, if you have that taqwa that is always going to be, it doesn't matter where I am, if I'm in the ocean or if I'm in the sky, then Allah's always going to be. Then you have the fear of Allah. That fear of Allah is stronger than that peer pressure. You have the confidence to say no. If we look at when they when they would if we looked at the Battle of Badr, for instance, there were 313 Muslims against 3,000 non-believers. For every non-believer, there was one believer. If I told you I'm gonna you and I'm gonna put you and there's gonna be 10 other people trying to fight, then I mean they should have lost. But they had that faith in Allah that Allah is going to protect them, and because of that faith, they were able to defeat the disbelievers. So, if you have that sincere faith that Allah, then Allah will never disappoint you. Allah will always be there by your side. So, yeah, even if 10 of them trying to convince you to smoke, first of all, we should be trying to get out of that situation. And second of all, even if we can't, then our faith in Allah should be stronger than their force of temptation, which comes from shaitan. Good points. So, advice that I have was pretty much you guys, but there's one other advice that I would want: speaking to people about it. Because if you're speaking to people, they can help you through your struggles. So you might become peer pressured into doing something, and if you talk with your, I don't know, parents or your brothers, your sisters, or someone who you trust, then it will help that burden. It will release that burden from you, because that ultimately, if you trust in them, care for you, and they will try and everything in their power to help you overcome any difficulty you face. So that that was this week's topic. We're talking about peer pressure, and inshallah we'll see you guys next week. Okay, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.